Hi, Instagram. It's been a while. I'm actually going live simultaneously on Facebook, so I'm getting that set up too. Hey! So I'm trying something new today. Hello, my Facebook family. So the new thing I'm trying today is going live on Instagram at the same time that I'm going live on Facebook. And it's been a while since I've done this. So just be mindful of that as I'm looking and I like to connect more. My Instagram following has grown a bit in the last, I say, 45 days or so. And so let's play with this. So Master Naima here with Melanin Sovereignty, where we are dedicated to showing melanin transformational leaders and others who are not melanin how to highly monetize their high spiritual work, being mission-driven leaders, and having an actual company that's generationally impactful. So we're talking real entrepreneurs here. And one of the reasons why I'm late, so pardon me why I'm late. One of the reasons why I'm late is Monday is my coaching day. I do my coaching calls on Monday, and I was on the phone with a client, and we were talking about shadow. She uncovered, and over the weekend, some shadow work that she's been doing, and I'd like to bring that to you all today. And that's why today's video is titled "The Dark Parts About Making Big Money in Your Transformation Business." And your feedback here is really important for me because I forget. It's so easy to forget. I've been doing this work for a long time, and shadow work is work that I have taught, that I have done myself, and really started to get deep into it in 2013. And I'm realizing, I already knew, but I'm being reminded of how essential it is for melanin transformational leaders to really, before we start getting practical and talking about leverage and monetizing and building your company, leading, etc., how much shadow work is so important. And so that's why, right, the dark parts about making money. So I'm going to share my, actually, I didn't get her permission, so I won't share it. I'll share mine, right? And I've shared this before, but I've never talked about it through the lens of, well, I don't think that's the best example. Oh, here, I have plenty. Okay, immediately I was able to tap into that. So, first of all, let me back it up because there's a lot of information here. So, shadow, my client said to me she had never even heard of shadow before we started working together. So maybe I should define that for those of you who are new to the world of shadow work. I'll start by saying this, especially for those of you who call yourself light workers, or you're very resonant with people who call themselves light workers, and you've heard of this before. I saw a quote, and I'm paraphrasing it. I saw it the other day. It said something to the effect of, you cannot be a light worker without being a shadow worker. That is so true. You cannot be a light worker without being a shadow worker. And so your shadow parts are the repressed parts of you that you have pushed away and ignored, and up till now, probably, right, because I don't know your actual reality right now, but probably have cast down away into the shadow for whatever the reason, right? It hurts, you feel dangerous being it or owning it, you were taught that it was inappropriate, that it was shameful, right? That's the domain of shadow. And one man to study, well, there's different people to, like, if you want to go off after this video and go study it some more, although she and I are, my client and I are actually looking at collaborating on a program that will, we can work more intimately, more so me and whoever else is going to be helping to facilitate that, can work with transformational leaders who are very clear that the reason why, like, they know how, right? The how is the easy part. It's like, why aren't I moving? Why aren't I taking action? Why is it that I've gotten coaching before? I've completed coaching programs before. I know what to do. Maybe I already have a YouTube channel. Maybe I already know, maybe I already have the products. But I'm just not moving. And maybe if you are moving, no matter how much you're moving, No matter how much action you take, no matter how powerful and how, right, you try again and try again and try again, you're not producing the result. You're not producing the result. You're not right. What's going on? That is oftentimes shadow. And shadow is such a tricky thing. Like, it's easy for me to forget. It's just, and my client was like, so is there ever a place where you don't have shadow? And I'm like, actually, what ends up happening is it doesn't have the grip on you. When you reach a level of maturity and expert, well, how do I even, just expert level experience with navigating shadow and intimacy with shadow, it no longer has the grip. It no longer keeps you quiet and silent and afraid. And you see it, and I said, like, when I see mine, I laugh, or I'm like, oh, you again. It's like, it's that kind of play with it, and I can still move. I'm still able to create. I'm still able to engage. I'm still able to feel all the things without trying to push a feeling down with food or scrolling social media, or just like this neurotic behavior and addictive behavior. Like, this is what shadow work allows you to become bigger than. And so I was talking to her about this gap that I'm seeing with, like, what the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is going on here? Excuse me. Okay, pardon me. Just all this technology is in front of me. So the dark parts. Okay, the dark parts about making big money in your transformation business. So I always go back to 2013 because the dark, and I also like to discern here without getting into a whole course about it. There's dark where all is birthed from, okay? A womb, right? There's that dark where all is birthed from. Then there's, I'm doing this mostly for your brain, okay? Because all is in the dark, like all is birthed from, right? I'm doing this for your brain to understand that dark doesn't mean bad, basically. Dark doesn't mean bad. Dark doesn't mean evil. It's not, completely equal to. It's nuanced, okay? So in 2013 was the first time that I experienced my own shadow. It was the first time that I recognized that there was a part of me that hated myself. That there was a part of me that actually didn't, as much as I was saying I was looking to make money and be a leader and be visible, and I was actually afraid. I actually didn't want it. I didn't want the responsibility of it, and I liked not wanting, right? And it took me a while to even get to the place of admitting that I liked that I didn't want the responsibility. See, this is the trickiness of shadow. And so I remember if you go back to my Facebook wall, 2013, particularly between, I want to say like August and December, August and December, all my shadow stuff I was sharing publicly, right? And then into 2014 as well. But it was so raw and so pure that I would have people inboxing me like, are you okay? That's how you know you're onto something, right? Like, she's crazy. Like, are you okay? And these parts of us that we keep so repressed, right? Because somebody somewhere told us that it was not okay. Or because we live in a society. I keep looking at, okay, I just got a new webcam that's not working, so let me remove it. It's distracting me. I'm still using the camera here. So all of that, which holds tremendous power, creative power, manifestation power, we locked it away. And so when I look at this gap, and to me, it's just so disturbing that such a highly spiritual, powerful people, right? The gap between success, whatever your version of success is. In this instance, I'm talking about 10K months, 20K months, 30K months, right? And this behavior that I'm seeing from so many transformational leaders of either knowing what they're supposed to do and not doing it, or doing everything they're supposed to do and still not producing the results, right? And the gap, the space in between, what's going on. We're looking at, okay, let's say 10% of it. Let's say this is the gap, right? This percentage up here is like the doing, the practical marketing, sales. And then the other 90% of it is shadow work, alchemy, mindset, right? So shadow is deeper than mindset, right? You've heard of mindset. You've probably heard of shadow, right? Now, mindset is like how you consciously think. The thoughts that you see are going through your head. Like if I ask you a question, the answer that you would give me would be your conscious thought, right? And I hope okay. Your unconscious thought, your shadow self, meaning the part of you that is repressed, meaning the part of you that is not even thinking. It's automatic. It's like down. That's what we're going to be getting at. Hey, chakra. That's what we're getting at. So what's to come? In order for you to be on the yacht with us in the south of France next summer, in order for you to have 10K months, 20K months, 30K months be your normal, for many of you, right? Some of you are already, I imagine, right, doing shadow work. Shadow work is not for the faint of heart. Like most people don't make it long term by themselves doing shadow work. Most people, right? But if you're genuinely going to be highly monetizing your high spiritual work online, your repressed self must have permission to exist in your everyday reality. So the part of you that feels like, oh, it would be greedy to be charging $10,000 for this package. The part of you that feels like, who am I to be? I remember I used to have this hate, like so angry and hate, and this shadow part of me that was like, I'm a woman, I'm a black woman, I'm a dark-skinned black woman, and I was mad that there was this white guy that I knew who was getting all this attention, and I was just so mad. And I remember I did a whole shadow rant. This was 2013. I did a whole shadow rant about it, to clear it out, to be public about it, to tell the truth about it, to get it out of my system. See? And this is the kind of stuff that had people like, oh my God, are you okay? And this is why most people don't do it, right? Because part of alchemy is being witnessed in the alchemy. Yeah, you can do it alone. And it has power alone. Definitely has power alone, right? But in my experience, what I have found, what really takes it over the edge and almost like makes it a whole 360-degree turnaround to where you change it. It's like it's like an unhooking, like literally like you're bound by the shadow. And then when you get witnessed in releasing the shadow and saying the things that are like bound in your tissue and bound in your way of being, and have you like scared consciously and unconsciously and not moving, and having like this 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake, 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake, and trying to go, but then not go, but then I want to, but then I'm afraid, and then trying, but then not trying to, right? And then having what is, one coach I know calls it chaotic vibration, right? It is being witnessed in alchemizing this chain. Wow, I'm just so grateful that we just had this conversation in her coaching call. And so we are currently in conversation. For those of you who would like to work And you are what I've just described, and you are, man, you just know you're powerful as fuck, man. You just know that you could be doing $10,000, $20,000 months easy, and you know the only thing stopping you is you. You know, you probably got a bunch of, prospective clients looking at you who don't even look like you and are be throwing money at you if you really showed up clean, powerful, not being dragging around shadow parts, dragging around shameful parts, right? That hold all this manifestation power, but you got it locked down, and you come and you become unified, and you say yes, and you allow all that stuff to like turn you on, and you laugh about it like I do sometimes, right? You can laugh about it, it doesn't have the grip. Then you get your marketing together, and then you get your strategy together, right? Then when you show up on camera, you can be pure, you can be clean, you can be honest, you can tell the truth, you can, right? Because you are like, nobody can attack you with your own shadow because you've owned it. You're not worried about somebody finding, seeing through you on camera. You're not worried about somebody going down into your dungeon, taking something and slapping you with it. Like, you not, see what I mean? Like, I feel the power even saying it. It's like, whoa, right? That is what we're doing, lovelies. And so shout out to my client. I won't say her name. I'm going to hold that for now. So we were like, yes, when we ended our coaching call, it was like a yes. We haven't worked out the details, and right. So there's right. We're like 90% yes. How about that? 90% yes. And so, yeah. So shadow work, let me say this, if you would like to go start Googling and looking up shadow work now, first I recommend you go check out Carl Jung. Carl Jung is the godfather of, who made collective unconscious and shadow self famous in his day. Early 1900s, I want to say. He's a Swedish, where is he from? Sweden? Yeah, I think he's from Sweden. He's deceased now. But he made that popular. A woman who I recommend now who has a tool, she calls it a shadow alchemy tool, is Lorna Johnson. So I'm recommending the tool. You can decide and use your own discernment if you'd like to lean into Lorna more. I do recommend her tool, though, her shadow alchemy tool. So you can Google her. And Carolyn Elliott has a book called Existential Kink. Carolyn Elliott has a book called Existential Kink, and she has practices and exercises you can do at home alone to alchemize your shadow, to integrate all your divided pieces, so that you become unified and whole, and not like part of you is this, right? So you can create, right? You can create. And so if you dig Melanin Sovereignty, and you like to work with us, we have something coming, because the shadow, when I just look at, okay, how are we really, and I'm questioning, and I'm in communication with the high gods. I'm like, okay, so really, how are we going to do this? Okay. Considering universal shadow, right? Collective shadow, right? But then shadow that exists inside of the psyches of melanin folk, right? This can be done, you guys. You can do it. It is here. All the tools are here. You are loved and supported. And so, yeah, I leave you with that. Until next time. Bye-bye. All right, let's see.